What's up, guys? So Dana White comes out at a recent press conference and apologizes about slapping his wife on New Year's Eve. And there's some people that want Dana White to suffer consequences for his actions. Now, there's a group, a California Legislative Women's Caucus, who wrote a letter to Mr. Emanuel, who is the CEO of Endeavor, which owns 50.1% of the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. So basically they can do whatever they want. For example, get rid of Dana White. And they wrote a letter to Mr. Emanuel saying this: "We write with deep concern about the recent violent video we have seen online from the Ultimate Fighting Championship President Dana White. Our caucus, which is both bicameral and bipartisan, is composed of women across the state of California who are committed to creating better lives for women and girls. We care deeply about intimate partner violence, and we have seen how partner violence affects the lives of children and families. Most importantly, we are deeply aware of how impactful our actions are on the minds of young people who learn from what we tolerate and what we condemn." Given Mr. White's previous remarks against domestic partner violence, we believe that Endeavor and the UFC shared this commitment to safety, respect, and accountability. You yourself have written extensively about the need to speak out and act when we see things that are not in line with our values. And yet, we have seen the video of UFC President Dana White where he strikes his wife at a New Year's Eve celebration with a closed fist. Now, guys, let's rewind this video and see if it's a closed fist. That doesn't look like a closed fist. Again, no closed fist. And guys, closed fist hits different. No pun intended. It just seems a lot harsher than the reality. It's bad either way, but it just sounds worse. But anyways, the article continues by saying, "We were appalled. It was alarming, to say the least. In the days since the video was released, you have remained silent. Your continued silence speaks volumes. As you once wrote, silence and inaction are not an option. We agree, and we are urging you to take immediate action. Like you, we are people who live by our values. We too are people of action. We are allies against violence, advocates for women, and we are parents like yourself. This is why it is clear to us we are calling for the immediate removal of Mr. White as president of the UFC. Every day that Mr. White's actions go unaccounted for, your silence becomes more piercing and troubling. At this point, thousands of young men, women, and adults worldwide have seen the video of Mr. White striking his wife. We have also seen his apology. What we have not seen is any consequences for his actions. As Chief Executive Officer of Endeavor, the UFC's parent company, you have the authority to decide who leads the UFC, which is one of the world's most watched sporting leagues, with millions of fans across the globe. Mr. White is not only the external face of the UFC, he is the leader who sets the expectations for the athletes as well. He is the leader who has explained in years past that he stands firmly against domestic violence. If an athlete were to commit violence against their partner, Mr. White is the leader within UFC who will have to determine the consequence. The eyes of the world are on him and on Endeavor. The head of a major sporting organization cannot claim to be for the safety of women, while a video of him striking his wife continues to circulate online without a response from you. The hypocrisy is astounding. Enough is enough. It is time to remove Mr. White from his leadership role, to allow him and his partner to get the help they need, while reminding the world of what Endeavor stands for, and that violence against women is not a conduct that you condone." This letter was written by Group Chair Senator Nancy Skinner and Vice Chair Assemblywoman Cecilia Aguirre-Curry on behalf of 17 female state senators and 32 assemblywomen. Now, Dana White at a recent press conference talked about the situation, apologized, and he was talking about consequences and punishment. And he told everybody what his punishment is.
What is my punishment? Here's my punishment. I gotta walk around for however long I live. Is it 10.4 years or is it another 25 years? And I gotta, this is how I'm labeled now. My other punishment is that, I'm sure a lot of people, whether it be media, fighters, friends, acquaintances who had respect for me might not have respect for me now. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life that are way more of a punishment than what? I take a 30-day, 60-day absence? That's not a punishment to me. The punishment is that I did it, and now I have to deal with it.
And basically, you heard in the letter they want action. I think they went a little far with the closed fist accusation. And the video looks like an open hand, but it's still bad, but that's a notch up, right? But tell me what you guys think. Dana White is not saying that what he did should be accepted or he should be forgiven. He's basically saying that he made a mistake. He doesn't want people sticking up for him. He is willing to take responsibility. He's not running away from it. And does he need to be further grilled? Does he need to be fired from his role from the UFC over this?